Alright, final part of chapter 8. So, before you go through that doorway, kind of come back here because there's a health kit you can grab. You really don't need to grab it because the final part inside the restaurant, there's like health kits everywhere. There's like so many of them, and they're there on no matter what difficulty you're on. The game kind of does a weird checkpoint coming through here. That desk I passed by, there's a health kit in there. For some reason the game will checkpoint you back in that first room I was in, but it still remembers that I checked those 2 drawers in that desk. So, but when you come out here, just kind of go all the way to this left side. Depending on the timing, sometimes this guy will be over this area, and then sometimes he'll be way over to the right side. This particular time he decided to actually be over here. Also be careful because sometimes he'll walk into that fire container, and he'll kind of like get stuck on it and like will actually start walking on top of it. And for whatever reason, like when he drops down from there, if you go to like melee him, you'll do the animation of like starting to like jump at him and stab him, but you won't actually hit him, and then he'll just punch you and kill you. So I had to do 2 restarts because of that bullshit. It was weird. I don't know what the hell was going on there. But when you get into this area, I actually kind of got lucky when I went towards that stairs, because the guy that's up here, I drew him downstairs, so I was able to just like walk like completely through here without having to deal with him. Sometimes this guy will be here, and then sometimes he won't. It's very random. I've had two runs through here where this building right there, he was just kind of like standing there. I'm not sure why. Sometimes he's just not even in that area. He's already patrolling the area that you pass by. So sometimes that guy's there, sometimes he's not. It's very random. But when you get into here, just kind of chill here for like a couple seconds so that these 2 guys will be way past this first area. And then you want to jump through this window, and then basically this is like the last guy, or I think there might be 2 guys here. There's this guy, and then there might be another guy by the bus, if I'm remembering right. Or maybe it's just his walking pattern brings him back towards there. I can't remember. Or no, I think maybe there is another guy. But just stay way to the right here around this bus. And yeah, this guy ended up just being there. And then as soon as you get here, just start running. Because you want to immediately jump inside the restaurant here. And then I had a weird glitch that sometimes might happen where when you go to the door, the cutscene doesn't trigger of David coming in. He actually gets stuck outside the building, and I ended up having to, the only way you can kind of reset is have him kill you, or you restart your checkpoint. But as soon as this area starts, you want to kind of walk over to against this Todd area. Sometimes he'll come this way. His walking pattern for this first section is completely random. Sometimes he'll come this way, which is usually the best way you want, because now you can basically avoid the glass on the ground. Because at this point I can just circle around all the way to the back here and then just wait to see which way he walks, and then so the second time stabbing him, he can be very annoying because sometimes he'll, even though you're like completely behind him, he'll just all of a sudden randomly see you. When you need to stab him the third time, it's very, most of the time he just goes like completely into hiding. I kind of got unlucky and I ended up walking into where he was hiding. So I ended up having to like I had to make a mad dash like away from him. But I've had points where I've kind of walked into an area and he's just kind of like behind cover, just kind of just looking out like a doorway. And really, you can just get very lucky for the third time. You can just circle completely around him and then just stab him in the back. Like at this point, like he's inside this room like right now. He'll go into cover just randomly into whichever area. It's never predetermined like where he hides for the during the third attempt to get at him. But as soon as that's done, we're back as Joel. You want to run all the way to the left here into this little side hotel room area, whatever it is. To the left of where I am, there's a shiv door, but I don't have a shiv. I don't remember what's usually in there. Now the way I remember this area, I remember that I could just kind of stay here for like about a minute or so, and then the two guys would come out of that little container or whatever the hell it is, and then you could just like walk through there and then just not have to deal with anyone. But for whatever reason, they wouldn't show up until I killed the sniper on top of that structure. And then randomly the Molotov guy just threw a Molotov like in the ground. I'm not very sure why. But once those guys are there, just kind of wait a couple seconds. I kind of ended up getting unlucky, and two of those guys were like kind of close to where I needed to go. And thankfully he missed. And he missed again. But once you run through here, you want to run all the way to the left side here. And just get to this car. Or to this car. And then just kind of chill here. And wait for these guys to walk by. And then just make a run for the doorway. One of the guys decided to be a dick and went into cover to where I needed to go. So I think I ended up axing him. Or using the axe on him. And then ran for the door. And then I cut out the kind of final bit at the end as Ellie when you need to crawl towards the machete to use on him. Oh no, I didn't actually have to axe him this time.